What's going on, guys? Welcome back to RV Tips and Travels. Today we're going to take out the Lippert Smart Jack and go back to basics and put in a standard electric tongue jack. And I'm going to show you why I'm doing this in just a second. So there was already a recall on this jack a couple years ago when I bought the trailer. Apparently this thing was activating on its own, which could have caused a real problem. So I did have that replaced. Then a little over a year ago, I realized that the buttons would just randomly stop working and you had to either play with it for a while or use the hand crank to get it to activate again. I've even seen pictures online of the lamination where the buttons are just completely falling apart. So a week ago, I decided I'm done with this thing. I looked at a lot of reviews for electric tongue jacks and I still decided that I wanted to stay with Lippert, but I went back to their basic 3,500 pound tongue jack. It's got an extend button and a retract button, no memory features. It also does have a light on the tongue as well, and the reviews were pretty good on this one. The jack itself comes with a hand crank, 3 new mounting bolts, a clevis and cotter pin for the foot pad, and then obviously the jack itself. It operates off of 12 volts. The body of the tongue jack is the ground, and you have a power wire with an inline fuse. Obviously, we need to get the weight off the tongue jack, so the easiest way to do this is to just connect it to your truck, or you could block it up on the frame. Now, you don't have to, but I'm kind of old school, so anytime I'm installing powered components, I will disconnect all power to my trailer. Remove the foot pad from your existing tongue jack. And now's a good time to cut any zip ties and disconnect the power wire from the tongue jack to where it connects on your trailer. Mine connects at a junction box underneath the front. Now you can start removing the bolts to the tongue jack that's on your trailer. There should be 3 of them. The tongue jack will just slide up and out of your tongue. Carefully place your old tongue jack to the side. Go ahead and drop your new tongue jack into the tongue itself. As I mentioned earlier, there is no ground wire. The body of the tongue jack will ground through the frame, and this step isn't necessary, but what I did want to do is just pull a little bit of the paint off the tongue jack, so as the bolt goes through, it makes direct contact with the metal of the tongue jack, and it will obviously make contact on the threads in the tongue itself. Next, go ahead and put the bolts in. I put the front bolt in first because the hole in the tongue jack is not slotted, so there's not really much room for adjustment. So go ahead and put that first bolt in up front, and then the 2 rear bolts, there's a little bit of adjustment on the tongue jack. Now, the owner's manual that came with this tongue jack does not mention anywhere to torque these bolts to a specific torque rating, so I just use my best judgment and tighten these down a little bit more using a ratchet. If you're going to run wire loom on your power wire, I suggest you do that before you start running it through all the wire loops on your tongue. You'll also need to add a ring terminal to mount the power wire back to the junction box. Reinstall your battery. And now the moment of truth. So I'm going to test the light out. That works fine. And I'm going to test the extend and retract buttons, and they work fine. So I am very happy with this new tongue jack, and hopefully we don't have any issues with this like we did with the Smart Jack. Once you get everything installed, go ahead and zip tie up your wires, put your battery box back together, test it out a couple times, and you should be good. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more of our videos, click the red subscribe button down below, and we'll see you next time.